Hello everyone, welcome to NLP and the Coronavirus Day 12. Wow, wasn't that an absolutely fantastic live that we did last night with Llewellyn and Rhys Davies. Had such fantastic feedback. So again, a big round of applause and a big thank you for them in joining me. And I'm going to get them back for a part two by popular request. And I want to tonight. I want to lead on from a number of things. You know, there was so much in that session last night. A number of you said, "Wow, I've got to press pause. I've got to watch it again. I've got to take notes because there's just so much content there." And which is great, which is brilliant. That's exactly what we want to do. But some real actionable points as well, which is really important. It's not just theory. It's not just hyperbole. It's not just motivational, hype. There's actually some specific things that you can do to make a change in your life at this particular point in time right now. And so I was integrating everything that we talked about from the one on last night, and I wanted to follow on from that with some ideas that I had. I'm going to tag Llewellyn and Rhys in on this video, even though they're not here with me. They're on some calls and some really important meetings at the moment, so that they can put their perspective in, but also answer any questions that might come up. So there's one thing, there's a couple of things really. I think it was Louis that said about getting up in the morning, thinking about getting a really great night's sleep that night, and what were the three character traits that he would need to display, if you like, to portray, I think was his words, during the day, so that he could go to bed and have a good night's sleep. And many of you have been saying a good night's sleep would be absolutely fantastic at this point in time. Maybe I'll get James, who's going to be coming on with me probably tomorrow, to do a part two, talk a little bit about insomnia. So let me remember that. So these three character traits. Now that actually reminded me of a technique that I developed several years ago around people setting big goals. Particularly where somebody sets a big goal for the future, obviously, but then in this moment right now, there's real physical, tangible evidence that they're not there. So let me give you a couple of examples of that. Let's say that somebody set a substantial financial goal. Great. And though every time that they log in and look at their phone and look at their account, their computer or their phone is telling them that they're overdrawn. Some of you may be experiencing that at this particular point in time. Money going out and no money coming in, and you've got big financial goals. And please do have that, because I said, set goals that excite you, set goals that motivate you. But then on a day-to-day basis, you're working on like acting as if. We talked about acting as if you're going to make 100, 200, 300,000 pounds in the next 12 months, but then you look at your phone and it tells you that you're overdrawn. That kind of has people wobble a little bit on the acting as if. Or let's say that somebody set a really key weight loss goal. Let's say that they go, right, my goal is to, let's say, weigh 12 stone. For those of you just trying to think what's 12 stone in. There are 14 pounds in a stone. I'm not going to calculate it now if you don't work with stones. 14 pounds in a stone. So I'm going to say 12 stones. So multiply it by 14 on your calculator. That gives you into pounds. If you're in the US and Canada and you're working on pounds. If you're in Europe, then take that number and divide it by 2.2. That will give you how much it is in kilograms. You can work it out for yourself. Let's say that somebody set a goal of being 12 stone and 10% body fat as a male. That'd be. It's not real massively lean, but it's a good, slim build. It's a reasonable amount of muscle mass, and a healthy amount of body fat. It's not bodybuilder, which is like 4%, or even you don't get to see your six pack until you get to about 6 or 7%. But let's say they set this goal: 12 stone, 10% body fat. And at the moment, there are 20 stone and, let's say, 50% body fat. Yep. So they've set this goal. Now what we say to people is, act as if. Act as if you've already achieved the goal. Act as if you weigh 12 stone and you're 10% body fat. But then you look in the mirror and you see this 20 stone and 50% body fat body. That's tough to be able to maintain the acting as if you've achieved the goal already for anybody. Anybody. It doesn't matter how much NLP you've done, doesn't matter how much Huna you've done, doesn't matter how much anything else you've done. That is going to be tough because there's a big dissonance between where you want to be and where you are right now. And I experienced that with my clients. And they had real challenges with staying on track and continuing to take action, which, this is something that's come out from every single one of these Facebook Lives, is about continuing to take action and continuing to have motivational goals. So I wanted to kind of acting as if is a really vital piece in the goal achievement puzzle. And acting as if's had a little bit of a bad rap. I've had had some criticisms for talking about acting as if myself, or people put it as like faking it until you make it, or whatever it might be, which I don't like that, because it doesn't mean you fake. And that is a vital piece in the achieve. It is how you support your unconscious mind in achieving the goal. And there's a distinction that I came up with last night, which I'd never come up with before when I was speaking. Doing this live with Louis and Reese, which was, if you can act as if you're confident, for instance, you must have confidence inside of you. If you can act as if you're powerful, you must have powerful inside of you. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be able to act as if you were. It's just that you don't realize that you are. That's why I don't like this idea of fake it till you make it. Because if you don't have powerful inside of you, you can't fake that. If you don't have confidence inside of you, you can't fake that. You wouldn't be able to tap into it. So acting as if is a vital piece. And when there's this big difference between where you are now and where you want to be, acting as if is tough. Also, in unprecedented times of uncertainty, like the ones we're going through at the moment, where we really don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what strategy is going to work. We don't know what technique's going to work. We don't know what any of that, because everything's just been thrown up in the air. Then your get out of jail for free card is acting as if. You've got to act as if something's going to work until it's proven whether it works or not. But if you can't act as if it's going to work before you start, it's never going to work. So acting as if is really key at the moment. Very, very, very key. Because otherwise you're not going to take any action at all. Or the action you do take is going to be, half-assed. It's not going to work. So here's this technique. Now I got this idea. There is a thing in the ancient Vedic scriptures of the three Gunas. Yeah. That's the three Gunas, not the three Stooges, right? The three Gunas, which are the three energies that pervade all of creation, according to the Vedas. And they are the energies of sattva, raja, and tama. The energies of starting things, maintaining things, and finishing things. And everything that we do, everything in the universe, is a combination of those three energies. And those energies of sattva, raja, tama, starting, maintaining, finishing, relate to the energies of being, doing, and having. So you might have heard this idea of before you can have, you've got to do. And before you do, you've got to be. Or be, do, have. Yeah. So here's the way we can use this process, because we can actually, the energies go in the order of be, do, and have. But that's just one way of using the energies. What we can do is we can actually reverse the energies and go have, do, and be. So, and I've used this with a number of my private clients who were in overwhelm because where they were today was just so massively out of alignment, if you like, with where they wanted to be. And I came up with this idea. So here's this thing. So what I want you to do right now is think about what it is that you want to have in your life, let's say in 3 months' time. Yeah, what do you want to have in 3 months' time? So where are we now? We're in April. So April, May, June, July. What do you want to have in your life at the beginning of July? What date is it today? It's the 8th. So what do you want to have in your life on or by the 8th of July 2020? And let's again, recapping on what Jess and James shared with us in a previous Facebook Lives. He went personal, professional, financial. So, what do you want to have? Let's just pick one of those areas. What do you want to have on the 8th of July, or by the 8th of July? What do you want to have in your personal life that you don't currently have? What do you want to have in your professional life that you don't currently have? What do you want to have in your financial life that you don't currently have? Make it a bit of a stretch. Make it something that you go like, whoa, that would, like, when I have that, that will be life-changing, even though it's only in a few months' time. Got that? Right. Now ask yourself the question, and this ties into, again, a previous Facebook Live, which is around the one thing. What would you have to do for the next 3 months to have that in your personal life, in your professional life, or in your financial life? What would you need to do? As in, how would you need to behave? What action would you need to take to be able to absolutely guarantee that in 3 months' time, you'd have that in your personal life, your professional life, or your financial life? Now, if you want to do the one thing, fantastic. But if it's like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that, that's also fine. Okay. So now the question is this. Who would you need to be for the next 3 months to do what you need to do to have what you want to have? Who would you need to be? What kind of person would you need to be? What beliefs would you have? What do you have to believe about yourself? Who would you need to be as a person? Now, here's the interesting thing with this. Because action, doing, takes time. Having takes time. We've already said 3 months, maybe sooner, but 3 months, the outside. Being, because it's a state, doesn't take any time at all. You can be that person right now by just acting as if you're that person right now. So, if you were that person right now, how would you be sitting or standing? What I want you to do when we finish this this live here is I want you to, if you're sitting down at the moment, I want you to stand up. Wherever you are, I want you to walk around the room as if you are the person that you want to be. I want you to breathe as if you're the person you want to be. I want you to put the facial expression on your face that the person that you want to be would have. And if that person was going to say one thing that would just affirm who they are at that point in time, what is it you would say and what gesture would you use? And what I want you to do is walk around the room and say that phrase, say that word with that gesture, with that facial expression, in that voice tonality, and until you really get the feeling of who you want to be. Even if you're walking around your kitchen and you're like, fuck yeah! That's changed my state straight away. Probably changed yours too. So there we go. That's what we need to do for this particular live. It ties in all the stuff from Louis and Reese yesterday. It also ties in stuff from Jessen. It ties in a number of the other things I've talked about. But this is now getting into the ground and the grow phase of what we're going for. Yeah, the ground and the grow phase. Anyway, if you like that, put the thumbs up underneath. Share with as many people as possible. And wherever you are in the world, I love you lots. Ahui ho.